G'day legends, welcome to another episode. Pretty excited to bring you guys this video. If you followed me through social media, my website, my articles I've written over the years, you'll know that I'm obsessed with finding wrecks. It's something I've put so much time and effort into over the years and been very successful at it. I've found lots of them. It does take a lot of work, so it's not uncommon for me to sound around in my boat for 5, 10, 15 hours non-stop trying to locate them. So that end goal of finding one, being able to put the underwater drone down, having a look at it, seeing the marine life on it, that's the end result for me and that's the reward. So I love that. It becomes a bit of an obsession. So that's why I keep going back for more and more. In this video, I'd like to take you to a spot I found many years ago, and I was unsure whether it was a wreck or not. It did kind of look like it to me, but I put a stand down with a camera facing each way. I had no control of those cameras. I couldn't see it live, but when I got home, I viewed the footage and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a wreck. So I could see a boiler or something of a tank close by the wreck that identified that it wasn't natural. So I've since then been pumped to go back and try film this properly. Haven't had much success with the drone, unfortunately. It's been either too much current or really poor visibility. I've had 5 or 6 attempts at it, but today's the day. I reckon we're gonna get good clarity, shouldn't be too much current, and we're gonna have a really good look at this spot. So I'm excited, guys, and it's good to have you come along with it. So we'll see what happens. I'll bring a lot more of this wreck finding into my videos over the next 6 to 12 months. So if you do like it, please like and subscribe. But for now, let's go put the drone on it and see what we can see. Before anchoring, I sounded crossways over this spot, and as you can see, the remains of this wreck only sits around 1.5 meters high. The large shows of fish and bait give this spot away, and I eagerly anchored the boat up and deployed the underwater drone. As I head towards the bottom with the drone, I begin to see a dark object appearing on the seafloor, and my excitement starts to grow more and more. When I reach the wreck, the first thing I notice is some boards, which could have been possibly the bottom of the hull. You can also see that the cod on this spot has shifted the sand out from underneath these boards to give them a safe place to live. As I look to my right, I can see a couple of tanks in the distance along with lots of objects that were possibly fish, so I move forward to get a closer look. I begin to see several cod and black spot tuskfish on the bottom, and a large school of oval rock cod in the background. These oval rock cod are mostly found on wrecks, which would indicate the habitat on wrecks is ideally suited to these fish. I rarely see them on natural structures, and they're not commonly caught by fishermen. The tanks that you can see close by the wreck are possibly fuel and water tanks, and as I begin to look around, you can see that this old timber wreck has broken down considerably, and there's very few parts left to identify. At this point, I realise my anchor is starting to drag and the 100 metres of drone cable will soon run out. I also had another boat getting closer and closer, and I didn't want the risk of losing this spot to someone who could potentially overfish it, so I needed to look around as quick as possible and head back to the surface. As I come down the other side of the wreck, I looked down and could see a shaft, so I repositioned the drone to get a better look. As I turned around, I could see what appeared to be a propeller on one end of the shaft and an engine on the other. By now I've run out of cable on the drone and begin to get pulled away from the wreck by my boat. I get a bit more of a look at the boards I could see earlier and a big cod sitting in front of his makeshift home. Well, after capturing that last lot of footage, I couldn't help but come out. It got the better of me. I just need to have a bit more of a look at it. We've had a really big southerly blow over the last 2 weeks, so often the big swells and seas like that will shift some sand away from wrecks and even little rocks and things. So I think it'd be a good time to come back out, have a look, see if there's any more of that wreck uncovered. It's pretty exciting. It's something you just can't stop thinking about. There's a few things I missed last time. I could see a propeller in the background, etc. I didn't get a good look at that with the drone, so I'll throw it down. Hopefully the clarity's good enough. It doesn't look as good as last time. It looks a bit greeny looking over the side. Still no current, which is good. So we'll just have to wait and see. I assume that the marine life there will be very similar to what it was last time, being only 2.5 weeks, but you never know. I'll anchor up now, throw the drone down and see what's down there. As I come down, I straight away notice there's lots of cod and some good sized black spot tuskfish. I'm moving closer and I can see that more of the wreck is now uncovered than previously shown. I then see my favourite fish sitting off in the distance, a beautiful red emperor, which is a welcome sight in this area considering these fish are more commonly found in tropical waters further north. I return my attention back to the wreck and realise there's a huge amount of cod sitting there staring at the drone. I try to avoid scaring them all and sat there still for a while before slowly backing away with the hope they would get used to the drone and not feel so threatened. This seems to drag the cod away from the wreck and closer to the drone, and after a couple of minutes I moved back forward to see what they would do. Instantly they open their mouths and flare their gills, trying to intimidate the drone, so I sat there a little bit longer just to admire them. After a while, seeing the red emperor gets the better of me and I move forward to have a closer look, which unfortunately scares the surrounding fish. As I move forward, I see the propeller and go in for a closer look. Moving back up the propeller shaft towards the engine, I see the exhaust system, which I couldn't see very well the last time I was there. After having a good look at this wreck, all I can think about is the history behind it. How did it get there? What was it? Were any lives lost? The thrill of finding wrecks and the mystery behind them is something that will keep me searching for endless hours well into the future.